short story called A Moment in Time. It was a sunny Saturday morning, early springtime. I was cleaning my Honda VTX 1800C, ready for a ride to the coast the next day. As I knelt down beside the bike, I leant forwards and bashed my head against the rear brake caliper, knocking myself spark out. Unbeknown to me, I laid there for quite some time, totally out of it. But then a strange thing occurred. I slowly got up, feeling a little dizzy and not sure where I was or what had happened. Everything was misty. I looked around me. It was bright, nearly too bright to see properly. But then I looked down and saw myself laying beside my bike. I was so confused. Suddenly a bright sparkling light split the air around 6 feet up from the ground. It started to widen and I saw gold, copper and black metal. And in that bright array, 2 men and a motorcycle appeared. They looked like they were from a past time. They were wearing vintage clothing, and as it all became clearer, my first thought was Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. For a moment I thought I was dreaming, or was I? Was I having an out-of-body experience? As I watched, the gent with the deerstalker hat said, "Hey you there, what year is this?" I looked around me and answered, "Are you asking me?" He snapped back and said, "Yes, you, who else?" The other chap with the bowler hat said, "Please excuse my friend, we're in a bit of a muddle, but please, what year is this?" Still feeling confused, I answered, "It's 2017, Saturday, April the 8th, and the time is," I looked at my mobile, I said, "it's 11:34 a.m. to be precise." The man with the deerstalker hat said, "Watson, I like this chap," although he could do with a new pair of trousers as he looked down at my jeans. I asked the question, "Watson? The Dr. Watson?" The chap with the bowler hat said, "Yes, my name is Dr. John H. Watson, and this is my friend Sherlock Holmes. We are private detectives, and at the moment we're on a case, but we're lost in time. Hence why we asked you what year this is." Sherlock then came over to me and asked, "What is your name, sir?" I replied, Brett Alexander Robertson." He came closer and started to tell me of the story of how they became lost. "Well, Brett, it's like this. Dr. Watson and I were at a Christmas ball enjoying a drink with some friends. Watson was just getting us a top up while I lit my pipe. Through the smoke I saw this small spangle of light, like a tear in the air, on a wall outside. I opened the French doors and walked towards the light that was sparkling like a small firework. As it calmed, it left this little hexagon-shaped box. By this time, Watson had brought out our drinks and asked me what I was doing. I picked up the box. Watson passed me my drink, and as we touched, we felt a tingling, and once again I saw the spangling light. Watson said, "Sherlock, what's going on?" Again the sparkling light dispersed, and we stood in a strange shop full of wonderful machines, like this one we have here. We spoke to a gentleman in the shop, and he told us we were looking at a new motorcycle, a Honda Goldwing GL-1100. "It's beautiful," said Watson. I looked around and asked the man when this bike was produced. He said this year. "And what year would this be?" I asked. "It's 1983, responded the man in the shop. I looked at Watson, and Watson looked at me and said, "Sherlock, what on earth is going on?" No sooner had Watson said that, the sparkling light started again. The hexagon box was in my hand. I was leaning on the bike, as was Watson. We were then overwhelmed by the flickering light. We both arrived in what we knew was our own time, going by the street lamps, the smell, the sound of Billy the local paperboy selling the Evening Standard, and the distant ring of the local blacksmith hammering on his anvil. What surprised us was the bike came with us. We've used it on our adventures and mysterious cases ever since. We've added a few items, tools for our investigations, as you can see. I was blown away, to say the least. I still didn't know if I was dreaming or not. Dr. Watson called over to Sherlock, who walked over to see what he wanted. They passed something to each other, and suddenly the sparkling light started. I put my hands up to protect my eyes from the light, and as I looked back towards them, in a flash they were gone. But the bike was still standing on my driveway. I woke up licking my lips. They were dry and I had blood dripping from my head. I was dizzy. I needed to reach out and grab the exhaust on my bike to steady myself. I tried to stand up, and as I did, I looked over the seat of my bike to see Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John H. Watson's bike gleaming in the sunlight, standing just where it stood when I saw the pair as they disappeared. Was I dreaming? Did I have an out-of-body experience? Where or when in the world did they go? All I know is they've left me with one hell of a motorcycle to keep clean and look after. The hexagon box is still in situ, so I have no idea how they disappeared into another time and place. I have no idea on how to work the time portal converter, so I don't know how to send the bike back to Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. Clues, anyone? Another great adventure for Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. In whichever time, place, space they are, their bike is safe with me.